Hello, my friends. I pre-shuffled a few cards to get us going. And of course, my first question or questions were, who are you? Where are you at? What's going on with you? How will you know this reading is for you? So here we go. Mice, discord among friends or family. Financial pinch from the lobster. Ram, a stubborn, aggressive person. And club, someone who will try to make you do something against your will. Yikes. So those two definitely go together. Perhaps the discord among your family or friends is related to the financial pinch, because these cards really do seem to be, these two cards definitely seem related, and these two cards, perhaps they're related too. So we have June, so something happened in June or something will happen in June. It's not June as I'm doing this reading, so it's either coming or it's already happened. And we have the Lion, definitely looking at June, saying it is time to act. All right, so that's the first part. Next up, I pulled a Shaman Wisdom card for you. And of course, that means I think this is or I intend this to be, a masculine reading, or masculine who is on the divine journey, having a divine experience. Perhaps that's a better way of putting it. Anyway, so we have 7. Hunting Moon, Libra, Baskets, Adult. The time period, September 23rd to October 23rd. Is that Libra? Sorry, I'm not an astrology person. Yes, it is. Yes, it is Libra. Okay. I am Hunting Moon. I am the preparation for the coming winter. I am here to remind you to prepare your house and put it in order. You must be mindful of your relationships, be they partnerships, contracts, unions, or marriages. Things are not what they appear to be. There are times in relationships that it is best not to say anything, but to hear what is being said. Listen closely. Now is the time to consider your artistic side and create something of beauty and give it away. I provide strength for your hunt, your quest. So perhaps you are on a quest, and perhaps you need to do some listening to understand what is really going on. And finally, your animal spirit card is the oyster. I am surprised. I generally don't get the oyster. Let's see. Come on. Where are you hiding? Ah. The art is beautiful. The writing is beautiful. The organization could use some work. Anyway, perhaps that's you as well. Oyster, patient, secret keeper, hiding inner treasures. Maybe that really is you. We've got a lot of references to artistic endeavors so far. The focus and determination of the oyster is unmatched. Anything an oyster personality puts their mind to, they achieve with grace and charm. The only problem is, oyster types often take their inner gifts for granted. They become shy or doubtful, and this can lead to withdrawing or protecting their deepest desires and life's work. When the oyster card appears, it's important to reveal your inner treasures. What is it you've been hesitant to share? The world is waiting to see. When in balance, feels blessed, generous, masterful. When out of balance, reluctant, gripping, clams up. To bring into balance, share something. Which this card also said, create something and give it away. This one says share something. I suspect if you were in balance, you wouldn't be watching tarot readings. So, in any case, I think that establishes who you are, where you're at. What is it you need to know? Besides, you need to share something. Oh, crap. Why is my voice going away? You are not sharing something. I think my voice is clamming up. Okay. What is it that... let's talk a little bit more about this sharing thing, that it's clearly very important. I was wondering where we should go with this. Let's clarify this, what needs to be shared or created. Oh my goodness. All right, let's not get ahead of ourselves. What needs to be shared or created? Wow, that's odd. Only the top card counts. Has to be face up, it has to be on top. I have a lot of rules. I want to make it difficult for the cards to come out, because I want them to really mean it. This one came out crossing this one, and this one came out off to the side. So let's take a look at what we've got here. Death, transformation, transition, change. But also the Eight of Wands. So rapid communication, news. And then the Two of Swords in reverse. Two of Swords usually indicates stagnation. So the Two of Swords is when somebody is choosing not to act. They are choosing to close their eyes to a situation, not to see, not to deal with it, crossing their arms across their chest, choosing to disempower themselves. Okay? And the Two of Swords in reverse, either they're really, really digging in your heels now, or the stagnation is beginning to break up. But next to it, we have the Two of Pentacles also in reverse. So the Two of Pentacles is change. In reverse, that would be somebody digging in their heels and refusing to change. Not willing to let go, not willing to let things happen. So crossing this, we have the Moon. This is about the inner work, the shadow work, things coming to light, secrets revealed. So I am seeing a lot of resistance to this death and movement. Now, which one is you currently? I asked about this sharing situation, and I got all this information about perhaps a desire for change, for rapid movement, but also a need to do the inner work here. And it looks like that's what's holding you up, because you also have this very strong resistance to movement, to transition. After all, it will mean the end of something. And perhaps that is, that's most likely what's holding you back. For For those of you who have been paying attention to my other readings, Temperance was on the bottom of the deck. I mention that because Temperance comes up a lot in my readings. I suspect a number of you have addiction issues. You're not going to be able to keep this ending from happening because you have been called. You are being called to awaken to who you really are, to your dharma, your purpose in life, your path. Perhaps to the divine. And here we have a need to let go of the status quo, which is, I think it's very fitting that it's on these cards, because these cards are looking like a really strong desire to hold on to the status quo, but also wishing to get away from it. It's not easy being you, is it? You fear justice? You fear having to take accountability? So I asked about what you're supposed to be sharing, and it's gone off in a completely different direction. All right, the Sun. There's the desire for happiness, but I don't think you know how to get there. Or maybe you don't think you can get there, or that you don't deserve it. Well, I believe you can get there. I do. I have no doubt that you can get there. But I don't think it's going to be easy. Let's try the Sacred Path cards. They're very prescriptive. So, advice on next steps. Having a hard time shuffling them today. They're actually difficult cards to shuffle due to they're kind of extra long, but the cardstock isn't particularly heavy duty, so that makes them extra bendy. Which makes them extra hard to shuffle. Today it seems to be particularly difficult. Finally. Sacred space. Respect. Do you have a sacred space? A place you go where you feel more in touch with the divine in some fashion? Where you feel respect and awe and wonder? The person in this card looks like a child, which is not a bad thing when you are dealing with the divine, because we are children. not only of the divine, but to the divine. And if you can regain some of your childlike innocence and wonder, that can really add to your life. So I encourage you to seek out a sacred space, probably in nature. Or maybe you can create an altar in your own home. If you feel like you have to keep it hidden, I would suggest that you get a large box that you can keep your altar in. Something that you can just open up and there it is. Some people do it in like an armoire or something like that. Regardless, I am pulling an oracle card for you. And wow, that popped out fast. Okay, Unfinished Symphony, number 10. 10, the number of endings and beginnings. And of course, whatever else it means to you. And I opened up, here we go. Essential meanings: unfinished business, an incomplete lesson, lack of closure, the need to make amends. We have justice in reverse, so yes, the need to make amends. The Oracle's message: this is a time to tie up loose ends as you near the completion of a cycle or project and mastery of a lesson or skill. Before you can move forward, it's important you come to terms with where you are now. Practice radical acceptance. Take inventory so that emotional and psychological closure can occur and the answers you seek will be found. You can't move forward if you are leaving things unfinished. Reflect on what is past so that the symphony can finally end on a high note. I'm going to read the protection message. When unfinished business casts a shadow over your life, it is a reminder that procrastination is a form of self-sabotage. It is not in your best interest to stall. Even stumbling forward is better than holding back. Don't overthink things or let yourself get distracted. Just tie up any loose ends and deliver the results. Don't quit before the finish line. Spirit wants you to win. And you do have to keep going if you want to win, no matter how hard it is, and no matter how much your friends and family disapprove. Speaking from experience. Keep going. You can do it. I believe in you. Good luck.